Welcome back to another episode of Publicized Theory Podcast, the podcast where I talk about self mastery, self development, and concepts that help all of us become the best version of ourselves. Thank you all for tapping in with me to another episode. Last week, we did not have an episode, unfortunately, but we are back this week with another good one to talk about how we can all overcome those mental slumps that come in and out of our lives at random times that make us feel burnt out, that make us feel somewhat negative emotions, and just all out of sync with everything that we've been doing up until that point, the momentum that we've had, so on and so forth. I know for me, I recently went through this just reflecting and understanding what I was going through in that moment in time and realizing that for the most part, mentally, I have been on one. And what I mean by that is I've always been in a constant state of thinking in many ways. Yes, I do take time to relax and not really try to think. But at the same time, there is always thoughts about so many different topics and things going on in my mind. And I feel like sometimes that can all come full circle in terms of just feeling mentally, physically burnt out. For the most part, we all may go through this in different forms, in different ways, and how we feel in different moments in time. What I wanted to talk about today is how can we overcome those moments? How can we overcome the negative momentum that we may have generated or just the mental slump that we feel like that we're in at the moment, and for some reason we can't really dig ourselves out of it, or it seems like we're undoing all the work that we've been doing to get to that point. For me, I always try to reflect on what is the emotions that I'm feeling in those moments. What are those emotions? If you're angry, ask yourself, why are you angry? And really try to get to the details of the root cause of that anger. If you're sad, why are you sad? What has made you sad? If you're depressed or if you're whatever the case may be in that moment, it's always best to try to understand why you feel that particular emotion in that moment in time. And if it's lasting days, what continues to make you feel that way day in and day out? Also, for me, I think communication is key. Not just internal dialogue with yourself, but communicating with the people around you that you confide in and that can help you get through the mental and negative slump that you may be in. For me, I try to communicate that. I'm not the best at communicating it in the heat of the moment, because for me, I have to at least try to do my due diligence in understanding why I feel the way I feel or what is mentally going on, or just trying to get more awareness of what I am experiencing in those moments. But I feel like after those moments occur, it's always best that we all communicate with our support system. We communicate with the people that we confide in. We communicate with our significant other. We communicate with our friends, our family, to let them know what we feel, to let them know how we're feeling, and just to get it all out. Yes, having internal dialogues and journaling and so on and so forth are all methods of expressing yourself. However, speaking it out loud to another person and receiving feedback and just almost like having a therapy session with the people that you trust and your support system goes a long way. We sometimes, and I'm guilty of this myself, we go into isolation mode. We don't really allow the opportunities for our support system to help us in the moments that we need support the most. When I have, it's really because I don't like exuding negative energy onto other people. And yes, that may be, looked at as a good thing in a way. Like, I get it. You don't want to be a negative vibe and so on and so forth. But your support system won't really interpret that as that, because they're only looking to support you. They're not looking to take anything that you're saying or that you're coming across as negative, because you're expressing to them how you feel. That does not equate to them feeling the same way or them absorbing those negative emotions and negative energy and making it their own. And now both of you all are infected with this negative mental slump. It's not how it works. It's not like you're going to give them a cold or germs that will make them sick. So I think we all should stray away from isolation in many instances, because it'll only, at least in my opinion, prolong the mental slump that we're all in. If we can communicate effectively with the people that we trust and that we confide in, and if we can try to audit the emotions that we've been feeling and the moods that we've been in, those two things alone will go a long way in counteracting the mental slump, the mental fatigue that we've been experiencing. It's a release. It's really having mental fatigue. It's really being on go mode so much, especially if the results are not happening that you're looking for, especially if there's new things in your environment. There's so many factors that can go into creating a mental slump within yourself that we have to just take a step back and understand that these things happen. We're not meant to be perfect 100% of the time, 365, 24/7. We do have to allow ourselves to feel what we feel, understand what we feel, and go about making the necessary changes and taking those steps in order to get back to being in a better mental state. For me, I can be hard on myself sometimes, only for the simple fact that I feel like those moments are wasted moments, because it's taking me away from this space that I need to operate in, that I know I need to operate in order to get to where I want to get to. I know I have to operate in a certain way. I know I have to be in a certain state of mind. I know I have to have a positive outlook, one that allows the opportunities to come my way and my performance in my day to day to be at the level that I want it to be. So I get hard on myself when I'm not able to be in that frequency, when I'm not able to really be in a state of mind that allows me to be the best person that I want to be. The negative component of that is it really doesn't help the situation at hand. It really doesn't help me get out of the mental slump by compounding it with more negative feelings because of feeling negative. If anything, like I said earlier, it prolongs it, and it doesn't allow us to really break out of that mental slump that we're in. We've all experienced it. We all will continue to experience it. However, just know that you have the opportunity to communicate those emotions and those feelings with the people around you. You have the opportunity to learn and grow in those moments, because now if something like that came around the next time, you'll have a better understanding of what it is that is creating those emotions. You'll have a better understanding of what it is you need to do to rectify the situation and to put you back on the path that is the most rewarding for you in those moments. There's this funny phrase that I've seen online a few times, and it's like, mind the business that pays you. It's aimed at being sarcastic in terms of, obviously, mind your business and only worry and focus on the things that in that particular situation is putting money in your pockets. But from a broader life perspective, minding the business that pays you is essentially doing the things that are the most rewarding and gratifying for you, for your life. If you feel great going to the gym, continue to go to the gym during those mental slumps. If you feel amazing by just going on a walk or having a smoothie or whatever the little things in your life that make you feel great, that make you feel happy, try to push through and continue to do those things within that mental slump, because those are the little elements throughout the day that could really kickstart and propel you through the mental slump that you're in, but also back on track to being the best version of yourself that you can be in that given moment. Remember that you have those elements on a day-to-day basis that are rewarding and gratifying for you, that make you feel your best self, that makes you feel accomplished, that makes you feel like you've come closer to where you want to go. Continue to do those things. Continue to mind the business that pays you, and understand that those rewarding factors are still rewarding. It may not feel as rewarding in those moments because of the mental slump that you're in, but if you compound those activities and those things that allow you to feel your best self, they will help you get through what it is that you're going through. To summarize everything, always communicate. Never try to isolate yourself when you're going through a negative patch in your life or a mental slump or mental fatigue, it's always best to just communicate, express yourself, lean on your support system, and also have that internal positive talk with yourself and understanding the emotions that you're going through, the feelings that you're feeling, and always dig deep and try to understand why. Try to understand what it is that has triggered you into feeling the way you feel. Because it's through those moments that allows us to, in the future, course correct, whether it be quicker or just in general. And you'll be well more equipped in the future to continue to get through things, to continue to maybe help those who are going through something similar. And in the end, it'll just allow you to be a better person. It'll allow you to be more in tune with yourself. It'll allow you to understand yourself just a bit more. We've all will come into a mental slump at some point in time because, listen, we're human. We're not meant to be, perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And it's okay to go through those phases. It's okay to feel those feelings, but just know those negative feelings are not meant to last. They're essentially learning moments in all of our lives. With that being said, thanks for tapping into another episode of Publicized Theory. We are back on track to the weekly episodes. This week, we'll have another episode on Friday. This episode comes out on Monday. The next episode will be this Friday, and so on and so forth. So thank you again for just your continued support and tapping in. The numbers on the back end in terms of listeners are steady, but I rather steady than a decline. So I appreciate it. If you really, truly appreciated this episode, don't hesitate to leave any feedback, share it with your friends and family, whether it be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. With that being said, continue to go in the direction of your dreams. Continue to stay safe. Continue to stay blessed. Until next time, peace.